Thank you, Mr Mundell. It's a pleasure to serve under your chair, and I want to thank the 236 constituents from Mid Dorset and North Poole for taking the trouble to sign this petition, and in particular to Hayden Shaw for spending quite a lot of time with me last month to explain the impact that this situation is having on him and other gamers. I have to admit that it is not my specialist subject. Video games today are a vital part of modern British culture, and whilst many parents like me think that our sons and daughters are locked away in their bedrooms playing alone, it turns out that my son Isaac was having great fun with people all around the world. Every time I heard a noise, it was him jumping off the sofa as he experienced the immersive video games he was playing, maintaining friendships after he went off to university, proving that video games can bring people together even when they are a long way apart. The artists, coders and other designers who create such lifelike images and develop such intricate stories for us to enjoy through our phones, computers and games consoles bring joy to millions and allow many of us to experience his places, times through history, and I would recommend Colchester in the age of empires, and when it was an original Roman capital of Britain, and alternative realities. My local college is now offering esports as a technical course, and Bournemouth University offers a degree in games design, which provides routes into other specialist fields that can unlock cutting-edge technology for the military. VR is providing new ways for medics to learn, and in Bournemouth, through gaming, children have been taught road safety skills through headsets, thanks to the creativity and imagination of those in this sector. So when a game shuts down, it can feel like losing a favourite book or film forever. And when a business is gobbled up like a scene out of Pac-Man, which probably gives away a little of my early gaming, the purchaser's rights should be maintained. Purchasers must expect transparency and fairness when making the purchase. Clear, accessible information about whether a game requires online connectivity, relies on servers or is time limited. And as Alex told me, it's important that buyers know what the end of life looks like, even if there is going to be an end of life. The law already requires such material information should not be hidden or omitted, but in reality, according to players like Hayden, it's very difficult to find this information, and many are led to feel misled or shortchanged. The UK already has strong consumer protections, and these laws require that those products, including digital products, are described are of satisfactory quality and that sellers must not omit material information. But those protections are not well understood, not well enforced, and need to be kept under constant review as technology evolves so consumers can exercise their rights. Now, we all understand that ongoing support for titles that are no longer popular or have been superseded will eventually need to end. But to stop those that have been purchased from being playable feels like the pages of a book that was once bought but now out of print going blank after a period of time, sort of like writing in invisible ink, or the sound of a song no longer being sold in record shops going silent. And there is additional concern in relation to the creativity behind a game, the designers and coders for whom those games are their CV. Whilst the intellectual property has moved from designer to owner in terms of control, for content to disappear is leading to concern by creatives that their work is not just being lost, but it never existed in the first place. Another issue that my constituents have alerted me to is the actions of console operators disabling their devices when a counterfeit game is used, often innocently. So imagine one's bought a second-hand game from a specialist retailer, a charity shop or an online marketplace, only to find out that it's not genuine. Now, you might expect the game to be disabled when you play it, and you'd be within your rights to take that up with the seller. But the console companies are locking down the whole console so they can't be used for anything else. And unless you get permission from that console company, your whole games console, which might have cost you £500, is completely unplayable. As we move to a digital system for music, games, literature, film and photos, now must be the time to consider risks to other sectors with their intellectual property. The best way forward is not heavy-handed regulation, but constructive dialogue between government, players and developers to strengthen clarity for consumers, encourage responsible preservation and respect intellectual property. The goal needs to be a balance of protecting consumers and creators whilst sustaining an industry that contributes so much. My constituent Philip said, "I have an old gaming PC running Windows 7, now unsupported but still functioning. He asks, What if this was to extend to other types of software? And as is just mentioned, what if future software companies decided to end support for something we use on a wider scale, something in our companies, in our homes, or even with government? So I would ask the Minister to provide clarity, not only from members here and our constituents, but to think about the issues of consumer protection, intellectual property, obsolescence, and the classic David and Goliath battle so beautifully captured in the video game Conquering Giants, that actually the individual must be buying something that they are buying.